Hey everyone, my name is Phil Ambergy, and I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I have been married for 17 years in August to my beautiful wife, Tara. I am also 38 years old, and I have two daughters, Chloe, who is 13, so I have a teenager at home, which is always interesting, and an 8-year-old, Avery. My kids would be disappointed if I didn't mention that we had a very large German Shepherd, a long-haired German Shepherd named Riley. He's just an awesome dog, so we're thankful for him as well. In my free time, I love to run. So I am a marathon runner. I've run 7 marathons, and that's therapy for me. I love to get out and enjoy God's creation. And I also enjoy vacationing, so traveling with family. We go all over the place. And it's been hard over the last few months since we can't really travel, but I can't wait to get out and just get around the country a little more again. So I also love things that are nerdy. So I love Star Wars and video games and board games, and I'm a huge nerd. And so I just love spending time with friends doing those kind of things. I even have a parenting podcast that's nerdy. It's called Nerdy Next Gen, which if you want to listen to it, you can go out and find it anywhere. Pretty much all avenues, but Nerdy Next Gen, and it's parenting and nerdiness all in one podcast. And I've been just teaching myself podcasting over the last few months since my job is not nearly taking as much of my margin as normal, and so I've learned that new outlet, and it's been a lot of fun. So taking up podcasting. I also, as a career, I'm in ministry. So I am the director of family ministry at a church here in Fort Wayne called City Church. And with the director of family ministry, I do children's ministry, I do youth ministry, and I also do most of the event planning for the church as a whole. So I wear a lot of hats. I do a lot of different things. We're a church of a little over 700 people. And so it's a busy role. It's been kind of nice the last few months, though, as a lot of what I normally do has been on the back burner, and so it's been kind of a nice little break. But I'm really excited to get back into ministry again here as the church reopens. We plan to reopen in July 19th. On July 19th, we plan to open the doors again and stop the live stream and go back to hopefully whatever the new normal looks like. As far as my goals go, career-wise, I would love to be in curriculum. I love to write. I don't have a lot of time to write, but I do enjoy it. And so being in the curriculum world would be amazing. I do a little writing now for a company called Orange through Rethink Ministries out of Atlanta. I do a little bit of writing there, but I would love to do that as a full-time job someday. I think that would be just a lot of fun. I love to mentor and train, so I don't know what that role would look like, but I've done a little work through our denomination with some of that, with training other church plant children's ministry leaders. And so something like that would be amazing as well. But that's kind of what I'd like to do, but I'm in ministry now, and I want to go where God calls me, whether that's at the church I'm at now for a longer period of time, or maybe someday I do go into curriculum. But I'm just excited to do God's work, whatever that looks like. So to answer the question about what a Christian leader is, I think a Christian leader, first and foremost, is a servant leader. And to be a servant leader, it requires a few things. One is to be humble. You have to have a sense of humbleness. You also need to have integrity and compassion. So I think those three things, humbleness, integrity, and compassion, all combined to create a servant leader, is what I would define as Christian leadership. Also, the difference between Christian leadership and just leadership in general. I think leadership in general, a lot of times is used to achieve the goal of the company, whether that's shareholders, whether that's the financial success of the company, the owners of the company. It's all about achieving one goal, and usually that one goal is financial success. And I think in Christian leadership, and I would also chime in with that a lot of times it doesn't matter as much about the employees that help that goal being achieved, except for those that are higher up in management. And in Christian leadership, I see that as everybody succeeds. So the goal isn't just for achieving the goal the overall goal of the organization, though it is like, especially like as the church, the overall goal is salvations, right, and bringing people into the kingdom. That goal is trying to be achieved, but everybody succeeds as you go. So everybody matters. Everybody is a part of that overall goal. And a few verses that I just think are great to back that up. I won't read them, but I'll give you the references. But talking about Jesus washing the disciples' feet as far as what servant leadership looks like, from John 13, verses 1 through 17. Even Jesus' death on the cross in all the Gospels, I think that's the ultimate example of what servant leadership looks like, Christian leadership. And then also Mark 10, 42 through 45 has some great verses that speak into what a servant leadership, or what a servant leader looks like, and in reference to Christian leadership. The two questions I have that I deal with sometimes, one is it okay to want to climb the ladder, so to speak, in Christian leadership? I know when I was in the business world, that was something that I always wanted to do, was work my way up, be successful. My thought on that initially is it probably depends on your heart behind it, what you're doing it for. But I would love to have that spoken into a little bit, as far as, is it okay to try to climb the ladder in Christian leadership? And then secondly, how do you handle those that may be poisonous to a work environment in Christian leadership? Because in regular, everyday, secular workplaces, the solution a lot of times is to let someone go. But that isn't always the case in Christian leadership, because you're trying to help them develop and love them. And how do you stop a poisonous individual from spreading that to others in a workplace, but still hold on to your Christian values? So I'm excited to see where this class goes. I hope to get to know all of you a little bit better throughout the next few weeks, and I wish you all the best of luck.